Hey guys, welcome on to another edition of your motivational check-in. I'm RJ here together with my co-host KR. KR, what's up, man?
What's up, everyone? Hopefully, you guys are motivated for today's show.
Yes. And we all know that we all can use motivation. KR, especially because he's inverse balling from his mama's basement.
I need it, man. I need it. Give me some hope, RJ. What do you have for us today? Do you have
Yes.
something that will elevate my spirit and give me hope that I will ever be? Mama, I'm recording. I
and
can leave this house, this basement.
yes, I do, but unfortunately, it requires hard work. Here on the Double Dutch Show, we don't do we are all about working hard and making the necessary sacrifices to reach your goals. We are not preaching prosperity gospel here. So with that being said, today in today's edition of the motivational check-in, we're going to review, or not review, but just look at a clip of an episode of All the Smoke, which is the podcast uh, being led by Steven Jackson
Mm,
and Matt Barnes,
basketball players.
basketball players. Yeah, but in today's show, we're gonna review. It's their episode 8. So if you guys haven't watched it, let's say watch the full video. You can go check it out uh, on their channel. But in today's edition of the motivational check-in, we're going to look at just a small part of that interview that we find motivational.
Mm,
Just to remind you guys of a couple of things. Firstly, if you haven't done so already, like the video. It's important for the algorithm. Uh, Share the video with your friends, your family, and distract your enemies with the videos as well. And last but certainly not least, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It's very important to us. We're trying to reach our goal of getting to 1,000 subs by the end of June of this year. We work very hard on our projects, and on this project, despite both KR and myself being extremely busy with our responsibilities, but we have big plans and big vision for this platform, and we would like for you to join the Double Thinkers community and be part of the journey as well.
yes.
Secondly, just to remind you guys of the purpose of the motivational check-in. The motivational check-in is not the Double Touch show itself. Those are the longer format shows in which we dive deeper into certain topics and themes. Here during the motivational check-in, we look at motivational clips or clips that we find motivational and discuss them,
Mhm.
see whether we agree or not. And that means that we want to hear from you as well, whether you agree with the things that are being said by the in the videos that we share, but also the thoughts and opinions of KR and myself. With that being said, we're going to look at a short clip of the video, or short clip of the video. Here in this part, just this last thing, in this part, they Stephen A. Smith gets asked about, or at least gets asked something, and he talks about his journey of how he became who he is. We all know him as a uh, a big name
Media
in the
personality.
sport. What did you say?
Media personality.
Yeah, big media personality, controversial, very direct and very deliberate in what he's saying. But he's going to talk about how he got to where he is today. So let's go check the video out.
Let's go back to '94, kind of when you started your professional career.
Sure.
Tell us what that was like, because people always, like I said, I kind of compare you to an athlete from a standpoint. They see the finished product. They see you on ESPN and all the success you're having now, but your journey was anything but the journey.
Well, listen, man. People, when they've written these articles about me, I lived off of tuna fish and Kool-Aid to start my career. I'm from New York City. I'm from the streets of Hollis, Queens, New York City. And I was working in Archdale, North Carolina for the Greensboro News and Record. I started off as an editorial assistant doing agate material and school lunch menus.
What's agate?
Like in a sports department for a newspaper, all of these little things that you see where they shows you a sheet with the scores and everything like that.
Yeah.
Computer from a digital perspective is things that formulate a page and stuff like that. And you got to type all of that stuff in there just to make sure it's framed correctly and it fits in the paper. If you do it wrong here, wrong there, the copy comes off the paper. It ain't good. You got to make sure it fits, all of this stuff. Yeah. So I had to do all of those things, right? And that was in my daytime when I was getting paid. And then I would get off at 6 and drive throughout the tri-state, the Piedmont Triad area in North Carolina, covering high school football from 7 p.m. until midnight for free. I didn't get paid for it. I did it just to accumulate clips, to build a resume, to show that I was really committed to being a sports writer. That led to internships in Atlanta, back at Winston-Salem, before I got the high school sports writing job at the New York Daily News. So then when you get into the business, Isaiah Thomas and I are tight to this very day. He forgot why. And one day, a few years ago, I told Isaiah, I said, you forgot who you are. He said, what are you talking about? I said, you gave me my first interview. Isaiah Thomas was approaching his retirement year with the Detroit Pistons. He was a two-time champion. I was a high school writer.
Wow.
And a guy by the name of Tim Donovan, who does media relations PR for the Miami Heat all of these years. Tim was working under Pat Riley doing the Knicks at the time. I was a high school sports writer. You ain't supposed to have access to those guys.
Yo, KR, can you imagine a young sports writer, ambitious sports writer, wanting to become big and then having to interview Isaiah Thomas, who was at that point in time, so that was the end of his career, but he is known throughout, let's say, for NBA lovers as a legendary point guard, one of the best small point guards to ever have played the game. Of course, he's also known for the beef he had with Michael Jordan. Allegedly, Michael Jordan let him off the team or made sure that he didn't join the Olympic team. But can you imagine Stephen A. Smith getting this opportunity? And what I got from the first part of the video is the importance of sacrifice. As I already said, here on the Double Touch Show, we don't. There's to each their own. But here we don't believe in prosperity gospel. Here we believe in work to get what you want. And what Stephen A. described, working as a assistant in a sports journalist department until 7, then go driving. So afterwards driving to cover high school. Was it high school or college?
High school.
It was high school, I think. Yeah, high school football until 12 o'clock. That for free. That part. That's very impressive. What do you think about that, Karen?
I mean, you gotta put in, you gotta invest, put in, show consistency, in order to improve, but also for others to see you. Your name has to pop up a couple of times, so people say, "Oh, who's that? Oh, let me take a look at what he has to say." Consistency is key, and I think it's very hard for people in general to be consistent at what they do. In this case, he would work a day job, turn around, and then work again, covering high school. He said basketball, right?
Yeah. I think is it basketball?
You see what I'm saying? But Tim, when they've written these articles about me, lunch menu.
What's agate?
Like in a sports department area in North Carolina, covering high school football from 7 p.m. until midnight.
High school football, yeah.
Football, yeah. So that means that he would wake up, go work his day job, and then at 7, not at 5, not at 4, not at 6, at 7. So he's working overtime as well, going to his other job
Yeah.
for free till 12, drive home, sleep, and then probably wake up at 6 again.
Yeah. Just to work, which
Just
goes to show you the amount of passion and determination that this person had. One thing that's also very interesting is that he he talks about basically what in the music business they refer to it as building your catalog. And there's a lot of analogies that can be taken from the music industry and that can be applied in business. Your work, it's I mean you can talk a big game, but your mouthpiece can only get you so far. There comes a point in time where you have to show your work. You have to show your results. And at the end of the day, in the business world, especially the higher you get, that's what matters. So while other people were applying for jobs, he was working for free with a vision. Uh,
not
yeah,
even, maybe not even applying for jobs. They were holding out for the right
vacancy.
situation, the
Yeah,
right vacancy.
yeah.
He created that situation for himself.
Let's continue because Stephen A will go on to talk more about this. The sacrifices or investments he made.
These years. Tim was working under Pat Riley doing the Knicks at the time. I was he was a two-time champion. I was a high school writer.
Wow.
And a guy by the name of Tim Donovan, who does media relations PR for the Miami Heat all of these years. Tim was working under Pat Riley doing the Knicks at the time. I was a high school sports writer. You ain't supposed to have access to those guys. You see what I'm saying? But Tim knew I wanted to be an NBA writer. And Tim Donovan was like, come on, I'll help you out, and gave me access to the locker room. You know, he didn't have to do that.
Right.
So he gave me he gave me access to it. And obviously I knew my place. So I wasn't trying to get in the way or whatever. I was just watching, studying, learning, et cetera, et cetera. And one day Isaiah Thomas came in as still before he retired with the Pistons, and he was doing interview with the media. And I said to him, I'm an aspiring sports writer. It would really help me if I could get an interview with you. He said, can you do it now? And sat down with me and gave me a 25-minute interview. Nate Tiny Archibald did the same exact thing for me once I became a full-time high school sports writer. So it's like, I didn't get here by accident, but I didn't get here by myself. There was a whole lot of people that extended me a helping hand. When I was at the Winston-Salem Journal, it was an all-white staff led by Terry Oberly, but I still remember the copy editors this very day: Dan Lohman, Steve Mann, Phil.
Yes,
He's saying something really important right there.
I think I know what you're gonna say. Yeah,
What?
you want me to guess?
Yes, please.
What did I say? I didn't get here. I didn't get here something, but I didn't get here by myself either.
Yeah.
What was his words? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
something like that. Yeah. Basically, what I wanted to say was that yes, he didn't get there. Okay, you have to have breaks, of course, but you have to be in that place to get the breaks.
Yeah.
You cannot sit at home and wait for the breaks
No.
to happen. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go find the breaks.
Yeah.
So yes, if it wasn't for the guys giving him a break, helping him out, he wouldn't have been here. But also, if he wasn't out there as a full-time writer, he wouldn't have gotten those breaks. So it's a thing. It all comes together. It's like a perfect symphony.
Yeah. And The harder you work, the luckier you get. The more exposure you have, the luckier you get. So, and what I do realize is that when you get older, it becomes more difficult. But when you're young, that's something I've noticed and I have personal experience. When you're young, ambitious, and curious, you will find people who will want to mentor you or will want to help you because they see themselves in you and they want to help you reach your goals or help you avoid the mistakes they made. So, something to be said. You want to say something else?
No, no, no. You
Okay.
already said what is important.
Okay. Let's go to the last part.
Rich Shaq and all of these guys that I haven't seen in years, that I haven't worked with in nearly 30 years. But they were the guys that would sit me down and say, okay, this is a piss poor job. You wrote this sentence wrong. You wrote that graph wrong. You missed this fact, that fact. And they literally taught me journalism. And so as a result, when you go through those experiences and you see the work that was put in order to get people to where they are and how they extended a helping hand. Listen, I ain't just a black man. I'm a brother. You see what I'm saying? So you're not expecting a bunch of white cats to extend their helping
Not at
hand.
all.
But when they did that,
It mean
it
the
all of
world.
a sudden is like, whoa, you know what? You're looking at the world a little bit differently because you're reminded that, yeah, we different, but we the same.
Right.
And everybody got a heart and everybody's God-fearing and everybody's got compassion and stuff like that. And they want to extend a helping hand to other people. And that's what they did for me. And all they asked in return is that I didn't I made sure not to make their effort be in vain. When you said you wanted to go for this, that's why we helped you go for it. So even to this day, nobody's more prouder than me than those guys. And you'll see a guy like Isaiah Thomas. I get a text from Isaiah Thomas every month. It's one of the biggest reasons why, because he remembered after I told him, this is what you helped start me. And he remembered what I said. So it's like being true to what you do. And again, it dictates the approach to some degree because you know the sacrifices that you made. I remember when the cat came, they came to me and they wanted me to have a job in Seattle. I was gonna go unless the New York Daily News came. They had a job for me in Fresno. I was gonna go unless the New York Daily News came. It was like no matter what, whatever the sacrifices that need to be made. I think to this very day, I've never been married because of that. Because I was always ready to get up and go. Because when you growing up and you poor and you living off tuna fish and Kool-Aid from the time you're in college, you taste government cheese and bread when you younger. You sat up there and watched your mother work 2 jobs, 7 days a week, 16 hours a day for 20 years with 1 week's vacation nonstop. You go through all of that. It's not that love don't matter. It's not that family don't matter. It's nothing like that. It's that I'm not going back to that.
I'm numb to a lot of stuff.
And whatever sacrifices need to be made, I'm going to make to get ahead.
Yes, KR. Have you ever lived on tuna and Kool-Aid?
I'm living in my mama's basement, my man. You didn't hear me living in a 2-bedroom house, right? A 1-bedroom house. Living in my mama's basement. My mom is feeding me good, man.
That was really good.
And
All right,
also I'm trying to find a sugar mama, but it's not working the right way as it should. But no, I never eat. I'm just all jokes aside. I'm just kidding. No, I haven't ate. What did he say? Kool-Aid
Tuna.
and tuna.
Yeah, tuna and Kool-Aid, I believe, is what he
Jeez,
said.
that
But
sounds like a. We had a show about commanders, guys. That's like sewage water about waiting to happen. If you're eating and drinking that, but anyway.
yeah. No, but it's a very inspiring story. But to me, KR, I believe in the grind. And the thing is, a lot of people talk about two things. One, a lot of people see the end result. They know Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, and he has uh, his way of talking. Is very controversial. He's very direct. He doesn't mince words, and some people are it can offend you, or you might not like the guy, but whether you like what he's saying or not, whether you agree or disagree with what he's saying, one thing you cannot deny is his work ethic, his passion for what he does, and his consistency. Second of all, something I've noticed, KR, is a lot of people who came from nothing, they have like more of a drive because they know what it means to be at the bottom and they don't want to go back. At the same time, I heard a quote once that says, if you stand long enough in sewage water, the smell will not bother you at a certain point in time. That's why it's important. That's why I take of it to have mentors and people to guide you along. But what did he say? And this is also a gem he dropped. What was the main condition that these mentors, these people that guide him, said to him? We're willing to help you achieve your goals, but don't let our input and our investment be in vain. The last thing a mentor wants, a real mentor, I mean, you can pay the mentor and everything, but a real mentor will care about the money, but if he wants the money, but he wants you to reach your goals more than the money. That's a that's a good, let's say that's the type of mentor you want to have. If you have someone that's content with the money, oh, he will keep booking sessions with you. But you need to have someone that will say,
Sounds like a
hey,
psychologist.
you would need to have someone that's willing to walk away if you don't put in the work. That's the type of mentor that's good for you. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's at the end of the day, it all comes back to you. You can blame your situations, you can blame the victims. I think Stephen A. Smith said in one interview that his mom worked two jobs. So he experienced a very, he's seen his mother work very hard from from a young age, and he doesn't want to go back. So he works hard, and that's what
Or
each
be also smart.
probably also smart. Yeah,
Working hard is not everything. You gotta work smart as well. So
yeah,
understand and recognize situations which you can use with your hard work. So working hard is not everything. Everyone can work hard, but if you don't work smart and work on recognizing opportunities, work
yes.
on recognizing opportunities and how to exploit or use those opportunities to your best um,
Your
uh,
advantage.
advantage. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
that's important.
yeah.
And
All
of
right.
course, and to close it out, I do think I do totally agree with you. Your mentor doesn't want you um, to waste his time because at the end of the day, if if they invest in you and you're sitting there and then you give up, basically, you don't believe in your own goals anymore. They wasted their time,
Yeah.
their valuable time.
Yes.
Whether and some of them, like you said, some of them will keep booking you. Others will think, ah, I got the money, but I wasted my time because it's all the knowledge I gave this guy went in vain.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Don't waste people's time.
No. Remember, the mentor wants to guide you, not push you. So you need to the you need to push yourself out of bed every morning to work and to make the necessary steps to get the job done. What does that mean?
That means I'm motivated.
Uh, well, okay. Appeared like something else, but cool. Guys, thank you for tuning in on to this edition of the Motivational Check-In. Please let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you think about the short excerpt we showed of the No Smoke podcast interview of Stephen A. Smith. Let us know as well whether you agree with our takes. And of course, let us know what you believe, what you can experience. If you have any stories to tell, please let us know. We really appreciate it. Remember to like the video. Once more, share the video with your friends, your family, and of course, distract your enemies with our videos. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We want to reach 1,000 subs by the end of this month, and we're working very hard to get there. This is something we do as a part-time gig, as I already mentioned, but we do it with a lot of passion, and big we have a big vision for the channel. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. Last but not least, remember to follow us on our socials at Double Touch Show on Facebook and Twitter. With that being said, guys, it's been a pleasure once more, and we'll see each other in the next one. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.